Hi, Rainier. How you doing? I got you queued up here, and I want to take a look at the work. My concern, I think, as you know, is that we keep changing directions, and I think that to successfully emulate a studio setting, I think it's really important that that's why we write the concept, we plan out the concept, draw out the visual examples, and then stick with that plan. It would be synonymous to um, showing your work to a client, or, and I think I mentioned this before, to the client or to the your art director, and then coming back with something completely different, and then not expecting a surprise, as it were. So, anyways, I hope that makes sense. I'm cool with it, though. I understand how it is to be a student, and to, I do. I completely understand. So, but I just want you to know that that's kind of how it is in the real world. So let's take a look at the work, and I think the first thing I'm going to need to do here is, um, let me see. This is pretty big, so well, let me do this. I think I'm just gonna let me just close that guy, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna download this. It's gonna be a lot easier to look at it in the PDF format than it is going to be to look at it online. So okay, here we go. Excellent. All right, so now we can break this thing down and take a look at the front. Front's looking really good. I'm digging it. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 column grid, and that's pretty good. Then you're mostly sticking to it. And my suggestion for this piece is to absolutely adhere very tightly to the grid. Why do I say that, Rainier? Is because that's what's going to be expected of you. That's what is going to be looked at in terms of this piece being looked at by a portfolio design reviewer or possibly even a potential employer. So we really want to tighten the grid up as tightly as you possibly can. Let me give you an example. Okay, right here. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Right here, the three. It doesn't seem to line up. Maybe it does, but it's not close enough. I think, and then you have this X amount from the left margin, and then you have this one over here touching the left margin, and then you have even a third left alignment with even more space, and actually even a fourth. So you really want to. Let me just Command R this so I can show you exactly what I mean. All right, here's one guide. Okay, and then here's another. Okay, and then here's another. Okay, that one is going to be over there to the edge of the N. This one's to the point of the 4. The edge of the page is to that 0. And then this one. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different left margins going here at the same time. So think about that kind of alignment. Also, things like this, okay? We just pull down a vertical guide. Take a look at the bottom of that O right there. That's a good place to start aligning things. Or conversely, the top of the O. Okay, that is where the logical place to line something up would be, instead of just kind of randomly placing it. Do you see what I'm saying? The 4000, okay, that's the part I'm getting at. This is interesting, very interesting, but not legible. So think about rule number 1 in typography. If you can't read it, it's no good. It doesn't matter how cool it looks, and this does look cool. But is it 46064? Is it 4004? It's impossible to tell. Is it 4 P D B 4? You see what I'm saying? It's just impossible to tell. So try not to be so tricky there, and try to make that legible. Okay, front of cover looks great. Back cover. This is a poster, Rainier. This is entirely too text heavy. It looks like a magazine piece. I mean, it's a poster. You just have to say what you have to say and say it quick. I want to draw your attention here. I want you to redo the back. Think about the front. Think about this wonderful use of white space over here. Okay, and then you have all of this text in the. I mean, do we really? Let me ask you this. Okay, this poster's hanging on the wall, right? Do you really expect somebody to read this entire thing? No. Give the highlights, man. Just give the important stuff and move on. Watch your alignment, okay? Right here. And that, sorry, my dog is barking. Sorry, my dog here with me today. So, all right. So I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes I don't want to play art director here, and I know you're kind of been struggling to find a visual direction, and you found it here. All right. Now, can we do this somehow? Can we turn your 4-0 or whatever this number is when you recompose that number and redo the front to establish good alignment? I mean, can you take some element from that and duplicate it here and turn it into a timeline? If this were the actual front that you were going to use, I would say take this line right here, this main vertical line, and then duplicate it down here and then draw your timeline around that. And that'll draw some really cool visual interest from the front to the back. And then, of course, once you're done laying your grid out, lay it on the back and align accordingly. Okay? Any questions, comments, or anything that you want to ask me about going into this final week, please get with me. I'll be available all weekend. I'll have my studio phone, I'll have my email, so I'll be expecting a lot of questions this weekend from students because we're about ready to end this thing here. So we want to do so with a bang, right? So feel free to contact me if you need any further help, or if you want me to take a quick look at something or whatever the situation is. I'm here. All right, thanks, man.